Questions 1 through 10 on the 2006 grade 12 AMC 12B. What is the value of this expression? So we've got negative 1 to the power of 1 plus negative 1 to the power of 2 plus ... all the way till negative 1 to the power of 2006. Now if you have negative 1 to the power of any odd exponent, like this one right here, it will be just negative 1. And if you have negative 1 to the power of an even exponent, such as 2, it will be positive 1. And you just keep on going like that. Negative 1 to the power of 3 will be negative 1, and negative 1 to the power of 4 will be positive 1. See what I mean? And it just keeps on going. So what happens is each pair of terms cancel each other. Negative 1 plus 1 is 0, negative 1 plus 1 is 0, and so on. So in the end, you just get an answer of 0. So number 1, the answer is C. For real numbers x and y, define x, symbol y, is x plus y times x minus y. What is this expression? So first, let's just concentrate on the 4 symbol 5. So according to our definition, it will be 4 plus 5 times 4 minus 5, like that. And that is 9 times negative 1, which is negative 9. And then we go back and we substitute it into there to get 3 symbol negative 9. And then again, apply this definition, and we will get 3 minus 9 times 3 plus 9. And that is negative 6 times 12. And negative 6 times 12 is negative 72. So number 2, the answer is A. A football game was played between two teams, the Cougars and the Panthers, and the two teams scored a total of 34 points. And the Cougars won by a margin of 14 points. How many points did the Panthers score? So the Cougars won by a margin of 14. So that basically means that C is equal to P plus 14 if C and P are representing the scores of the Cougars and Panthers respectively. And they tell you that the total score, C plus P, is 34. So substitute this into there, and we will be on our way. So we got P plus 14 plus P is equal to 34. So that means 2P plus 14 is 34. So 2P is equal to 20, and therefore P is equal to 10. So number 3, the answer is A. Mary is about to pay for 5 items at the grocery store. The prices of the items are $7.99, $4.99, $2.99, $1.99, and $99. Mary will pay with a $20 bill. Which of the following is closest to the percentage of the $20 that she will receive in change? So $7.99 is like $8, $4.99 is $5, $3, $2, and $1. So that's pretty much approximate because they're asking for closest, right? We're only off by a penny for each one. So add this all up and you will get $19. So if she gives a $20 bill and she has to pay about $19, she's going to get $1 return in change. And that $1 as a percentage of the $20 is 5%. And that's pretty much all they're asking in number 4. So that answer is A. John is walking east at a speed of 3 miles per hour while Bob is also walking east, but at a speed of 5 miles per hour. If Bob is now 1 mile west of John, how many minutes will it take for Bob to catch John? So we have a scenario where they're both walking east, and let's label this. So here's Bob, and 1 mile away is John, so that's 1. And Bob's speed is 5 miles per hour, and John's speed is 3 miles per hour. And eventually, I don't know when, but eventually they'll catch up to each other. So they will both be at the same point. So we have to figure out how many minutes does it take Bob to go from there to there. Okay, no problem. Well, first and foremost, we have to understand that we have to use that famous formula, speed is equal to distance over time. And any version of that formula also works. For example, time is equal to distance over speed. Now, the key to this question is to understand that the time it takes John to go from there to there is the same amount of time that it takes Bob to go from here to there. Okay, that's the key. So the time for Bob is equal to the time for John. Okay, so here we go, using this formula right here. It's going to be the distance for Bob over the speed of Bob, and the distance of John over the speed of John. So the distance for Bob from here to here is 1 plus x, and his speed is 5 miles per hour. The distance for John from there to there is just x, and his speed is 3 miles per hour. So this is the mathematical equation we have to solve. Cross multiply and you get 3 plus 3x is equal to 5x, and therefore 3 is equal to 2x, and therefore x is equal to 3 over 2. Now x represents a distance and we want time. So no problem. If x is 3 over 2, we can calculate the time that it took Bob to go from there to there. How do we do that? Well, just use our formula, distance over speed. The distance from here to here is 1 plus 3 over 2. And his speed is 5. So this should give us our time. Adding the fraction, we'll get 5 over 2 over 5. So this is 5 over 2, invert and multiply, 1 over 5. And this is a half. And this is in hours. So half an hour is 30 minutes. So number 5, the answer is A. Francesca uses 100 grams of lemon juice, 100 grams of sugar, and 40 grams of water to make lemonade. There are 25 calories in 100 grams of lemon juice and 386 calories in 100 grams of sugar. Water contains no calories. How many calories are in 200 grams of her lemonade? So we've got lemon juice, we have sugar, water, and we have lemonade. And remember, lemonade is different than lemon juice, so don't get confused. So they tell us that it's 100 grams, 100 grams, 400 grams, and therefore initially it's a total of 600 grams of lemonade. And the calorie count, they give you 25 for the juice, lemon juice, 386 for the sugar, 0 for the water, and therefore the total calories is 411 for 600 grams of lemonade. Now they tell you how many calories in 200 grams. All right, this is basically a ratio problem. 400 calories in 600 grams, that's the ratio. And we want to know how many calories are there in 200. So there you go. Do some basic math here. Multiply that by 200. And this looks like 411 over 3. And therefore the calorie count is 137 for 200 grams of lemonade. So number 6, the answer is B. Mr. and Mrs. Lopez have 2 children. When they get into their family car, 2 people sit in the front and the other 2 sit in the back. Either Mr. Lopez or Mrs. Lopez must sit in the driver's seat. How many seating arrangements are possible? So you've got a car, of course, and let's say you've got the front driver's seat, passenger seat, and then back seat 1, back seat 2. Now the driver's seat, this one, they're saying can only have either Mr. Lopez or Mrs. Lopez. So we've got 4 seats. The first one, we can only put one of 2 people. So that's fixed. The second seat, which is the passenger seat, we can put any of the remaining 3 people. So we got 3 choices. The fourth seat, any of the remaining 2 people, and then the fourth and final seat, the remaining person. So this is the total number of arrangements. And if you do that math, you get 2 times 6, which is 12. So number 7, the answer is B. Lines x equal to y over 4 plus a and y equals x over 4 plus b intersect at point 1, 2. What is a plus b? So we've got to figure out a plus b, and that should be not too big of a deal using that point. So let's substitute that in first to here, and let's see what we get. X is 1 and y is 2, so that gives me that equation, and therefore a is 1 minus a half, and therefore a is a half. Substituting into this equation now, we've got 2 is equal to 1/4 plus b, and therefore b will be 2 minus 1/4, and that means b is equal to 7 over 4. And therefore a plus b is a half plus 7 over 4. And if you multiply top and bottom, add the fraction, you get 9 over 4. So number 8, the answer is E. How many even 3-digit integers have the property that their digits read left to right are strictly increasing in order? All right, a little bit of work for us. So first and foremost, we've got 3 digits, right? And for it to be an even number, the last digit here, this guy, can be either 2, actually it could be a 0 also, that would make it even, 0, 2, 4, 6, or 8. Okay? The middle digit can be any number, so 0 through 9, so we got 10 possible choices there. And then the first digit can be anything except a 0, right? Because otherwise, if it's a 0, it wouldn't be a 3-digit number. So here we go. We proceed with casework here. So the first digit cannot be a 0, but it can be a 1. If it's a 1, the second digit, let's say, is a 2. The third digit can be any one of 4, 6, or 8, right? Because it has to be increasing in order as you read from left to right. So it can't be a 0 or 2. So that means I've got 3 possible choices for that third digit. Continuing 1, 3, again, I can put either a 4, 6, or 8, so 3 choices there. 1, 4, that would mean only 6 or 8 can be placed in that third digit, so that's 2 possible choices. 1, 5, again, I can put either the 6 or 8. 1, 6, I can now only put the 8, so I got 1 choice. And 1, 7, again, only 1 choice. And then 1, 8, if I put that, I can't make a number because that's not in increasing order. So I stop right there, and that takes care of the ones. And that was how many? 6, 8, 10, 12. Okay, so you just have to keep going like this. And it won't take too long. We can continue. 2 for my next one. I have to increase in order, so the next one has to be 3. For this to be even, the number has to be either 4, 6, or 8. So I've got 3 possible choices there. 2, 4. I can't put the 4. I can only put 6 or 8, so I got 2 choices. 2, 5. 2 choices. 2, 6. Can't put the 6, so I can only put the 8, so that's 1 choice. And then 2, 7, only 1 choice. 2, 8, and onwards, there's no way to make the number. So that takes care of the 2's, and that gives me 9. All right? So I'll just keep going here. So for 3, 4, I can only put a 6 or an 8. That gives me 2 choices. 3, 5, 2 choices. 3, 6, 1 choice. 3, 7, 1 choice, and that's it. So that now I have 6 more. And then next one would be 4, correct? 4, 5, I can put a 6 or an 8 for the third digit, so that's 2. 4, 6, I can only put an 8, so that's 1 choice. And then 4, 7 gives me 1. So this gives me, for number 4, 4. We only got a couple more. For 5, 6, 7, or 8, but it has to be an 8. So that's only 1. And then for 5, 7 has to be an 8, so that's only 1. So that is only 2 more. And the last one is 6. 6, 7, the last digit can be either an 8, and that's the only choice, and then that's it. That's the only number I can make starting with 6. And there you go, that's 1. So count all these up. 1 plus 2 plus 4, that's 7. 7 plus 6 is 13. 13 plus 9, 22. 22 plus 12 is 34. So number 9, the answer is B. In a triangle with integer side lengths, one side is 3 times as long as the second side, and the length of the third side is 15. What is the greatest possible perimeter of the triangle? All right, so we'll draw a triangle like this, and we can label it. So I'll call this x, 15, and 3x like that. Okay, now there's a rule for triangles. I'm sure you know. If you have any triangle, the rule is that if you have the sides labeled as A, B, and C, that A plus B must be greater than C. That's the only way a triangle can be made. So using that rule over here, and you can do this in any order that you want, but I'll just do it like this. 15 plus x has to be greater than 3x. Okay? If that is indeed the case, that means 15 is greater than 2x, and therefore x is less than 7.5, 15 over 2. Now, we want the greatest possible perimeter, so that can be accomplished with the greatest possible x. But remember, x is an integer. So the greatest possible x is going to be 7. So the perimeter is going to be 4x plus 15, and that gives me 4 times 7, which is 28, plus 15, and that is 43. So number 10, the answer is A.